In this video, I'm going to go through why we placed drafting and engineering into separate teams, why this isn't the norm in our industry, and what it means for your project. I'm Charlie. I run a cabinet making business in Melbourne. We work on 6- and 7-figure joinery packages that are complex and leave little margin for error. 2 years ago, we made a really fundamental change to how we operate in the office. We did it to address the biggest constraint in our industry, which is being able to arrive at a clear production scope early. In most cabinet making businesses, there's one drafting role, and that person does everything. They look at the architecturals, do the shop drawings, submit them for approval, and then engineer the work order for the factory once the drawings are approved. We accepted it and did it that way because that's how everyone else does it. In reality, it's 2 jobs stacked onto one person. The same person who's reviewing and understanding your design intent has a split focus. On the design drafting side, they have to absolutely perfectly understand the architect's design intent. But on the engineering side, they need absolute precision and constant output into the factory. We're asking one person to do 2 fundamentally different jobs. So we took it back to first principles and we thought about it. Where we arrived is that drafting is actually a function of project management. It's the process through which we understand the architect's design intent, we mix in our functionality and buildability standards, and we present that cohesive understanding in one set of shop drawings. It's a collaborative process between our drafting team and the architect to make sure we arrive at a clear but buildable scope. The engineering, on the other hand, is a function of production. The drafting team has provided a set of approved shop drawings that gives a clear production scope. And engineering is the first step in that production process. We take the approved shop drawings and we build that joinery in our computers the same way we would build it on a bench. This process demands absolute precision, which is why it's so important for our engineers to stay focused. At the end of the engineering process, we have a clear scope, which is then passed on to the factory. The materials are in the factory, the final production shop drawings are ready for the factory, the CNC is ready to be run, and the cabinets are ready to be assembled. We don't want the engineer in this process to be going to the architect and working out how the joinery is meant to be built, because that work has already been completed by our drafting team and they are there to simply execute on the production. So what does this mean for your project? For the architect, it means that we have a dedicated drafting team focused on understanding your design intent. This helps us create certainty in the design outcome. For the builder, what this means is that we arrive at a clear production scope earlier. You can use the approved shop drawings as a coordination tool on site, and it means that we have more time to build the joinery, which means that we're less likely to be late and more likely to have your cabinets on site on time. Overall, this means less risk and more on-time delivery. This whole process is designed to resolve the scope earlier. That means we have more time to produce with less mistakes and a more predictable outcome. Now, none of this is revolutionary. Complex trades like basement contractors and facade manufacturers already operate like this. And in fact, larger cabinet making businesses also have separate drafting and engineering teams. It's the same reason that structural engineering, for example, is separated from architecture. 2 years in, this is now foundational to how we deliver for our customers. Our drafting team can get us to the correct design outcome, whilst our engineers can focus solely on production. And to roll that up to our primary objective, it's all about producing more certainty for the architect and managing risk for the builder.